Prophecy Games delivered a ridiculously fast-paced sci-fi roguelite FPS that blends intense gunplay with deep build crafting in Deadzone Rogue. Waking up aboard the derelict space station ISS-X with no memories and a basic pistol drops you right into the fire against swarms of killer robots and biomechanical horrors. Running solo or teaming up with 3 friends in co-op mode creates a total mechanical chaos as you clear rooms, combine abilities, and collect elemental upgrades. Over 30 upgradable weapons let you customize your arsenal on the fly, turning standard shotguns into void-spreading crowd destroyers or submachine guns into rapid-fire ice blasters. Combining elemental affixes like shock, fire, and freeze with dozens of combat augments allows you to tailor your playstyle to strike from stealth or dash directly into melee range. Dying during a run never feels frustrating because permanent progression systems allow you to boost your shields, amplify elemental damage, and unlock lethal starting perks for future attempts. Battles against giant biomechanical bosses demand quick reflexes, steady aim, and clever movement, forcing you to utilize cover while managing incoming waves of robotic spiders and hunter drones. Exploring distinct sectors of the ship, from quiet engine bays to lockdown brigs, keeps environmental variety feeling fresh across every single run. The pumping synth soundtrack elevates every firefight, keeping your adrenaline sky high while you slide across metal floors and detonate elemental combo explosions. Unlocking game-changing augments keeps every single attempt feeling uniquely exciting and rewarding. FPS enthusiasts who love fast movement mechanics, deep roguelite progression, elemental gunplay customization, and chaotic co-op shooting will find this space station survival run an absolute addictive blast to play.
And I'm gonna risk it all.
Massive entertainment handed Star Wars fans the ultimate open-world scoundrel dream with Star Wars Outlaws, shifting focus away from Jedi lightsabers to deliver a grit-filled galactic crime story. Taking place right between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, you step into the scuffed boots of Kay Vess, an emerging thief trying to pull off one massive final heist to buy back her freedom. Exploring wide-open planetary environments like the windswept savanna of Toshara or the crime-ridden alleys of Kijimi on your customizable speeder bike feels genuinely thrilling. Your adorable alien companion Nyx steals the show during moment-to-moment gameplay, distracts guard patrols, snatches weapons off enemy belts, and triggers environment traps mid-firefight. Blaster combat stays punchy and dynamic, letting you swap modules on the fly to overload shields, stun heavy enforcers, or unleash a dead-eye target lock mode to wipe out squads in seconds. Balancing your reputation across rival criminal syndicates like the Pikes, the Hutts, and Crimson Dawn adds an engaging tactical layer where betraying one boss locks you out of territory while opening secret black market shops elsewhere. Hopping seamlessly into the cockpit of your ship, the Trailblazer, and blasting into orbit to engage in dogfights against Imperial TIE fighters creates a seamless outer space experience. Sneaking through Imperial garrisons requires clever use of smoke bombs and stealth takedowns, giving you total freedom in how you tackle dangerous syndicate contracts. Gambling on sabacc tables and underground cantinas while listening to alien jazz tracks captures that authentic greasy space western atmosphere perfectly. Gamers looking for open-world galaxy exploration, high-stakes heist action, dynamic scoundrel gameplay, and charming companion teamwork will find Kay's adventure an absolute blast. Survios took their terrifying sci-fi horror formula and supercharged it into a cinematic action horror experience with Alien Rogue Incursion Evolved Edition. Dropping you into the worn boots of rogue colonial marine Zula Hendrix, the story follows her dangerous investigation into a Weyland-Yutani black site on the uncharted mining planet Purdon. Accompanied by her reliable synth companion Davis-01, Zula must expose corporate bioweapon experimentation while fighting off relentless xenomorph hordes that hunt by sound and sight. The iconic motion tracker makes a glorious return, filling every quiet moment with gut-wrenching tension as those famous radar beeps speed up whenever lethal creatures start crawling through ceiling vents and dark corridors. Gunplay feels satisfyingly heavy and aggressive, letting you spray classic M41A pulse rifle fire, deploy tactical shotguns, and toss incendiary grenades to cook alien warriors before they slice you to pieces. What really elevates this experience is how intelligent the Xenomorph AI behaves, stalking you around corners, flanking your positions, and adapting to your combat habits rather than following scripted movement paths. Facing off against giant Praetorian royal guards and dodging agile face-huggers keeps your heart hammering in your chest during every single room clear. Visual upgrades, smooth frame rates, and enhanced environmental lighting bring the industrial gothic aesthetic of the Alien film franchise to life with terrifying detail. Managing your limited ammo supplies, repairing broken security doors, and tracking motion signatures forces you to stay focused under incredible pressure. Uncovering corporate dark secrets while surviving endless alien waves creates a non-stop adrenaline rush. Sci-fi horror purists craving intense creature encounters, authentic movie atmosphere, terrifying monster AI, and heavy colonial marine firepower will find this evolved edition an absolute nightmare-fueled thrill ride. Capcom struck pure survival horror gold with Resident Evil Requiem by crafting a dark, atmospheric masterpiece that balances classic, terrifying tension with heavy action payback. Set 28 years after the infamous Raccoon City incident, the story follows FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft, daughter of Outbreak protagonist Alyssa Ashcroft, alongside a hardened veteran Leon S. Kennedy, alternating between two drastically different gameplay styles, creates a brilliant pacing dynamic throughout the campaign. Grace's nightmare sections bring back pure survival horror roots, locking you inside decaying locations like the condemned Wrenwood Hotel with scarce ammo, fragile health, and tiny inventory boxes. Creeping through pitch-black hallways while hiding under furniture from a horrifying invincible stalker enemy known as the Girl forces your heart into your throat. Examining crime scene evidence with Grace's investigative tools adds a surprisingly engaging detective flavor to the quiet moments between terrifying creature encounters. Switching over to Leon's campaign flips the script, arming you with high-caliber weaponry, heavy parry mechanics, and cinematic melee finishers to tear through mutated bioweapons. Returning to the overgrown ruins of Raccoon City delivers incredible nostalgic chills while unraveling the dark conspiracy behind the lingering T-virus mutation known as Raccoon City Syndrome. Photorealistic lighting powered by the RE engine renders every blood-soaked corridor and grotesque creature mutation with stomach-churning detail. Tension rises with every creaking floorboard as you weigh whether to use precious shotgun shells or risk sneaking past deadly flesh-eating abominations. Managing limited supplies, solving intricate mechanical puzzles, and surviving relentless boss encounters keeps the horror atmosphere suffocatingly intense from start to finish. Horror enthusiasts who love nerve-wracking stealth, gruesome monster designs, deep lore callbacks, and explosive combat action will find Capcom's 9th mainline entry an absolute masterpiece.
Apex Legends is coming to Nintendo Switch 2.
Respawn Entertainment keeps proving that high-speed movement and razor-sharp gunplay are the ultimate secret sauce for keeping a battle royale alive. The recent marked update shakes up the meta in a big way, completely reworking Bloodhound to make tracking enemy footprints and releasing White Ravens feel far more tactical. Diving out of the dropship at breakneck speeds remains one of the best feelings in gaming, especially when your squad pings a chaotic hot drop like the returned sorting factory on World's Edge, sliding down steep hills, chaining wall jumps, and popping off snappy Peacekeeper shotgun shots demands twitch reflexes that will instantly punish anyone falling asleep at the controller. Calling down care packages and calculating ring rotations requires actual strategy alongside precise aim, proving why this title has survived for so many competitive seasons. The wildcard rotation adds a total layer of unpredictable fun to the mix, giving casual players room to mess around with hoverboards and goofy experimental modifiers. Streamlining the loot pool by removing manual backpacks and knockdown shields lets everyone focus on immediate combat progression, rather than spending 5 minutes staring at glowing floor crates. Mastering Legends synergies like combining Horizon's gravity lift with Bangalore's smokescreen creates unbelievable clutch plays during stressful final ring showdowns. Server upgrades and continuous anti-cheat tweaks keep match integrity feeling significantly tighter, reducing those painful moment-to-moment lag spikes when third parties suddenly crash your fight. Weapon balancing stays super aggressive with energy weapon overhauls and weird corrupted attachments that encourage players to swap out their comfort gear mid-match. Competitive squad shooter fans who crave lightning-fast mobility, deep legend ability combos, and adrenaline-pumping firefights will find Respawn's flagship battle royale delivering top-tier chaotic entertainment.
This wasn't the world I wanted, but it was the one.
Bethesda decided 10 years of wandering the Boston wasteland wasn't quite enough, so they packaged up the ultimate Commonwealth sandbox with Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. Bundling the massive base game alongside all 6 official add-ons means you're getting Far Harbor, Nuka World, and Automatron right out of the box. Throwing in over 150 Creation Club packs completely changes the early game power fantasy, cluttering your quest log with custom weapons, power armor skins, and fresh player homes before you even step foot inside Diamond City. Stepping out of Vault 111 still hits with that classic post-apocalyptic magic, even when you know you're about to ignore your missing baby for 80 hours just to build elaborate wooden fortresses for ungrateful settlers. Shooting off feral ghoul limbs in VATS feels remarkably satisfying, especially when you load up modern weapon mods or equip heavy plasma artillery from the expanded creation menu. Exploring ruined subway tunnels and fighting off raider gang leaders never gets old, because the world is absurdly dense with weird environmental storytelling and retro-futuristic radio tunes. New official creations like the Tale of the Beast Hunter even let you track legendary Deathclaws with a revolving shotgun while setting up a Mojave-style bar in the middle of Boston. Classic Bethesda jank definitely remains part of the charm, companions will still block doorways, and Brahmin will randomly spawn on top of your sanctuary roofs. Collecting scrap metal to craft custom weapon receivers or powering up suit after suit of rusty T60 power armor gives the core gameplay mechanic incredible staying power. Wasteland survivalists who love hoarding junk, building post-apocalyptic towns, and blowing up mutated monsters will find this massive bundle an absolute time sink nightmare.
But you've got the tools to deal with it.
Nintendo took everyone by surprise on the Switch 2 by turning their colorful ink shooter into a full-blown action RPG looter with Splatoon Raiders. You play as a talented mechanic hired by Deep Cut, that goofy idol trio of Shiver, Fry, and Big Man, to hunt down precious relics across the derelict Spiralite Islands to pay off Splatsville's massive debt. Instead of standard turf war battles, you're diving into intense single-player and co-op dungeon runs where massive hordes of angry salmonids swarm you from every angle. Weapons look like scrappy homemade junk held together by duct tape, giving the entire experience a unique, rough-around-the-edges visual personality. The core gameplay revolves around customizing your Ink Tank class between speed, power, or tactical builds while equipping wild mechanical gadgets like deployable jump bombs and ziplining flywires. Swimming through colorful ink and blasting swarms of terrifying boss salmonids feels super responsive thanks to the Switch 2's beefier hardware handling, dozens of detailed enemies on screen at once. Exploring treacherous tropical ruins while dodging giant flying egg bombs forces you to stay nimble on your feet during every frantic mission. Sampling preset gadget builds inside specialized sampler dungeons forces you to learn clever skill combinations before taking on brutal multi-level challenges. Collecting rare loot, unlocking overpowered endgame abilities, and upgrading your gear keeps the progression feeling constantly rewarding without turning into a boring grind. Splashing paint alongside friends in seamless co-op makes clearing difficult island raids a total blast. Nintendo fans looking for a fresh spin on the Splatoon universe packed with deep customization, hilarious idle companion banter, and chaotic horde survival will find the Switch 2 spin-off an absolute masterpiece.
Welcome to the trap!
Fumi Games delivered one of the most visually striking boomer shooters in years by wrapping classic 1930s rubber hose animation around a grit-filled noir detective story in Mouse PI for hire. You step into the trench coat of private investigator Jack Pepper, navigating the crime-ridden black and white streets of Mouseburg to expose corrupt politicians and mob bosses. Watching hand-drawn cartoon rodents disintegrate, explode into dynamic frame-by-frame slapstick animations, and melt under heavy gunfire creates a hilarious contrast with the grim crime noir atmosphere. Gunplay feels surprisingly punchy and arcade fast, letting you shred through mob enforcers with classic Tommy guns, snipers, dynamite, and heavy revolvers. Downed enemies drop cans of spinach and cheese power-ups that instantly grant super strength or unleash wacky cartoon attacks on surrounding goons. Running through rain-slicked alleyways, smoky jazz clubs, and sewer hideouts feels like stepping straight inside a vintage black and white cartoon short that suddenly got rated R. The energetic big band jazz soundtrack elevates every single firefight, keeping your adrenaline pumping while you dodge incoming bullets and toss explosives across crowded rooms. Upgrading your arsenal at underground armories gives you devastating tools like incendiary ammo and heavy turrets to slice through thick waves of mobsters. Solving environmental puzzles and searching hidden nooks rewards players with secret weapon upgrades and lore notes that flesh out the corrupt underbelly of the city. Smooth movement mechanics let you grapple across rooftops and slide into combat encounters, turning every room clear into a chaotic animated film sequence. Retro FPS enthusiasts who appreciate classic shooter gameplay, vintage animation aesthetics, snappy gunplay, and a killer jazz soundtrack will fall in love with this delightfully violent detective adventure. Machine Games stepped up to deliver the ultimate globe-trotting tomb-raiding simulator with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, capturing the pure cinematic charm of the classic films, right from the opening scene. Nestled snugly between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade, this story drops you straight into the dusty boots of Dr. Jones as he tracks down a mysterious relic stolen right from Marshall College. Shifting into an immersive first-person perspective turns out to be a stroke of absolute genius, because swinging a whip around feels ridiculously satisfying when you're using it to snag ancient leverage points, disarm hostile mercenaries, or pull off chaotic improvised combat moves. Environmental puzzles require actual brain power to solve, forcing you to consult Indy's journal, sketch out ancient mechanisms, and decode forgotten temples buried beneath the Vatican, Egyptian deserts, and snowy Himalayan peaks. Punching fascist goons in visceral brawls delivers that classic slapstick fistfight energy where throwing a heavy right hook or smashing a stray shovel over an enemy's head feels endlessly hilarious. Sneaking through heavily guarded dig sites gives you plenty of stealth freedom, letting you throw glass bottles to create distractions, wear disguises, or crack your whip to send guard patrols running in sheer panic. Troy Baker turns in a fantastic vocal performance that mirrors Harrison Ford's iconic gruff, charismatic tone without ever feeling like a cheap impression. Balancing intense temple traps, quiet archaeological discovery, and explosive set-piece escapes creates an incredible pacing that keeps you hooked for hours. Longtime action-adventure fans craving authentic cinematic flavor, clever puzzle designs, and satisfying whip-cracking action will find this globe-trotting archaeologist expedition an absolute blast to play. CD Projekt Red pulled off an absolute miracle by bringing Night City to Nintendo Switch 2 as a day one launch title, packing both the sprawling base story and the Phantom Liberty expansion into one complete portable experience. Having the entire massive adventure loaded directly onto a 64GB physical cartridge gives physical media collectors a huge win without forcing heavy eShop downloads. Navigating the neon-soaked streets of Dogtown and engaging in high-stress mercenary work feels remarkably fluid, powered by customized hardware features like NVIDIA DLSS upscaling alongside dedicated quality and performance graphics modes. Gunplay and netrunning receive a major dynamic upgrade thanks to unique Joy-Con 2 features, letting you slice thermal katanas using motion swings, line up sniper headshots with precise gyro aiming, or use the right Joy-Con as a mouse for pinpoint control. Cross-save support lets you carry your personal version of V across systems seamlessly, making it effortless to take high-stakes spy thriller quests or high-speed vehicle chases directly on the go. Stepping out into the rain-slick districts while listening to industrial radio stations delivers a level of open-world depth previously unimaginable on a handheld device. Combining Keanu Reeves' iconic performance as Johnny Silverhand with Idris Elba's brilliant role as Solomon Reed ensures the narrative hits with maximum cinematic power. Handheld RPG enthusiasts who crave deep cyberware customization, fluid real-time combat, and top-tier storytelling will find this complete portable release an absolute triumph.
Okay everyone, thanks so much for watching. If you liked that video, please leave a like and subscribe, and ring the bell if you want to get notified when we release new content. We hope to see you in the next video.